the station for the nation. We are here again for another episode of Power Solutions, brought to you in partnership with Energy Investment Company, All On, ably represented here as my co-hosts by the Policy and Partnerships Manager. That's the Adaobi Oniwinde. She's my co-host for this episode, and we have a guest. Hi, good to see you again.
Hello. It's been a long minute.
Absolutely.
Teke. Haven't seen you in a bit.
Yeah, you're looking younger every day. What's the secret?
That one actually stumped me. Joy.
I know.
Joy.
Absolutely.
Happiness.
It's a good way to go.
Awesome.
We have yet another interesting guest to join us on the show today.
Yes, we do.
I cannot wait to, dig into the conversation.
Yes, we do. It is my great pleasure and honor to welcome Sandra Chukwudozie, who is the founder and CEO of Salpha Energy, which, by the way, is probably the fastest growing solar home systems company in Nigeria.
Wow.
Sandra.
Wow.
Nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
The entire stadium is clapping for you right now, welcoming you. Well done indeed. Well, like you already know, it's where we bring the key players in the power sector, specifically those in the off-grid, those who are bringing solutions to the power problems that we face as a nation. And today's conversation is themed Upscaling Affordable Energy Solutions. Upscaling Affordable Energy Solutions. Like you heard, our guest is seated, Adaobi is by my side, and we're set for the conversation indeed. Well, I'm going to let Adaobi start with the first question. I mean, it's the ladies first.
Sure.
So let me be a gentleman.
Sure. And you're outnumbered in this room today, so hey.
Yeah, I have to be it myself.
Excellent. Sandra, give us your background. What is your journey? What was your journey to renewables? Or to Salpha?
Yeah. So the journey has been quite an interesting one because before founding Salpha, I started my career at the United Nations in New York. And it was a very pivotal time when the SDG goals were being launched, the 70th session of the UN General Assembly in 2015. And so I had a front row seat to seeing the future of energy, evolve before me. And coming, from an oil and gas upstream, downstream, family-owned business, it was a different view of energy. It was that energy had to be clean, affordable, modern and reliable. And so as a young person such as myself, that really struck a chord in my heart, and I wanted to be part of this energy transition. I began to look at the continent, I began to look at Nigeria to see exactly what was going on there, and I saw a lot of amazing companies doing great things. And even besides that, I had a lot of mentorship from women at the UN at that time. I had mentorship from Rachel Kides, former SC for All CEO, and Amina Mohammed, who was then the special representative for SDG goals. And so at that time, there was a lot of momentum for me to change my view on energy, and that was what led me to my career now at Salpha.
You've mentioned that you have an oil and gas background, and you touched a bit about how you got into renewable energy, of course, the inspiration. But here is my question, really. As a woman in a male-dominated sector, running a company can be a great deal. How have you been dealing with that?
So for me, running the company, growing up, I watched my entrepreneurial parents run a business. And I always had a seat at the table. I was always told about what was going on in the business. So from a very young age, 4 years old, my parents had a house in the factory. And so naughty me, I'll ride my bike around the factories late at nights, troubling all these factory workers and asking them questions. So I saw firsthand what a business structure looked like. My mom was 25 and she had over 8 companies that she was running.
Wow.
Oil and gas, manufacturing, real estate. So she modeled what it was to be a young leader at that time. And even back to Salpha, what I do, we are a team of alphas. We are alphas on the move. We aspire to be that. And so the core of what we do is building leaders for tomorrow, starting with Nigeria, men and women. And having that team makes the work easy because you are not just having a team of people who are not passionate. They are audacious, they're authentic in who they are. They're liberal and they're very passionate and they have the heart to, go against the grain. And that's what makes it very easy for me to do what I'm doing. Thank you guys.
Wow.
Alpha team.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
So you come with a mentality of diversity, equality, but how do people react to you?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. So let me start by saying that when it comes to, for example, people ask me the question of, how do you cope, being a woman in a male-dominated field? Apart from the way I look right now, I just feel like I'm on a mission. I don't sense, I'm in this room and there are 5 guys here. It's just me in that room. And I guess people take the vibration that they see when they encounter me. They see me as somebody who is here to achieve something and they treat me as such. So I think that's how they see me.
In fact, you once told me, I'm going to go off script for a minute. You told me a story about how the entrepreneurs in, I think, Alaba Market.
Exactly.
How your tenacity. Tell us that story again.
Exactly. So let me come back to what I said. So that story, when I first started, I was going into Alaba, I do motor markets, jump the bridge, bike, and go and see these distributors. And when they saw me, this little kid, blonde hair, and then I had this tiny accent, and so they were like, what's she doing here? Go to your office, go to do your NYC or whatever. And I didn't even care. I was just telling them, this is the product, this is what we do. We sell solar solutions, and I was just telling them, this is the mission that the company has. And so after a while, they're like, you're different to getting it, me. Like,
That means what's up? What's going on here?
Yeah.
So they like me, and they just took me under their wing, and you were like, this product, it go move, but you're supposed to do them this way. So it's just that whole thing of the energy you give out. You just have to, give out the energy of what you're here to do, to achieve, make a difference.
I'm sure that someone listening out there should learn a lot of things. So far, so good. With just the little questions you've answered, I can see a whole lot to learn from your journey, and it's quite inspiring. I have to mention that. Now, let's get back to Salpha. I would like to know, as a company, what are your strategic focus areas for the sector?
Okay, so everyone needs power in Nigeria. And the thing is, the Nigerian energy market is bottom heavy. And so our goal is to bring the underserved and unserved into and up that energy ladder.
Okay.
And we've done that by, designing and producing products from entry level. These products give you lighting, phone charging, music playback, Bluetooth functionality for the really rural and peri-urban areas. And then we also have products that are productive use that can power your appliances, your TV, laptop, fan, fridge, freezers, and also DC compatible. And so what we're trying to do with these products is to excite our customers to aspire to climb up that energy ladder. Okay, you've bought this entry-level product. How can you buy a product that is, even more robust in terms of what it can offer you? And I always give this favorite example of mine on how we were able to do this. This very special customer, Miss Maria. Miss Maria, if you're listening, thank you so much. Basically, she was intrigued by what Salpha was offering, and she said, okay, you know what, guys? I want a product that can help me with my home lighting. My kid have to do homework, and we gave her our entry-level system. And she used that for a while. She enjoyed it, and in less than 12 months, she came back and she said, okay, I have a chemist shop. Can you guys give me a solution that can bring that chemist shop's appliances under solar? So she had her fan, she had a fridge there for like some of these like vaccines and things like that. And we gave her the solution under a 12-month repayment cycle. And with those kinds of stories, we just show that people can climb up the energy ladder. And that's what we're trying to do, essentially.
Wow.
You have product. We talked about products. You brought something.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So-
Celeron.
So this is a productive use appliance, and
Yes, why not? You
Yeah.
can lift it up.
Okay.
Which,
Yeah.
it's a
Rest-
productive use appliance, and in this is a battery system. Now,
All right, hold on a second. If you're listening on the radio, you might want to stream us live because we're streaming on Facebook and YouTube. It's Nigeria Info 99.3 on YouTube, and on Facebook it's Nigeria Info FM. All right, that way you could find us and also view what our amazing guest is showing you, the product she's showing you right here. on this beautiful episode of Power Solutions on Nigeria Info. So go ahead, please.
Okay, so this product has a battery inside, and it can power lighting, about 4 bulbs. It can power a fan. It can power your decoder, your router.
Okay.
And it's just an entry-level productive use system that allows you to be able to just do business and home relaxation. It also comes with a TV as well. It can power a TV as well.
Okay.
So it's quite nifty, about 100,000 naira, and we can give it to you in instrumental payments.
Wow.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
And it also comes with a torch and torch.
All right.
Yeah.
So the buttons, I see some buttons there. What?
So basically, under the pay-as-you-go solution, you could pay weekly, monthly, and quarterly. And so we give you a code when you make payments, and you put it in here, and the system unlocks. Yeah. Wow. So it's really small, but it's really mighty. Small but mighty.
Yeah. This is. I mean, I can see it would pass for maybe it's just a small box, but
so it's nifty. Absolutely. You can take it to work. You can bring it back. That's the aim. That's the goal.
Wow.
Solar in your pocket.
Solar in your pocket. I love that.
That's a nice hashtag. So let's go back to payment. Yeah. You just talked a little bit about some of the services you provide, pay as you go. So we know that payment collection for power consumption is a challenge in the sector. Fact, right? But Salpha has actually secured enablers such as Infi branches, who Olon just did a $2 million deal with last month. Cool. Infi branches, Paga, and InterSwitch. So how do you feel about where we are with dealing with the payment issue? Okay,
so a lot of progress has been made. I mean, the benchmark for payments is East Africa. When you look at M-Pesa and what they're doing, there's a benchmark, and that has led the revolution into Nigeria. We're getting there. A lot of big players have come in free branches, if you mentioned, and they've really helped to go into this interland areas, this last mile agents and customers. And so even recently, I mean, CBN granted a license to MTN and Airtel to go into, banking. And so we're looking, so we can now see there's a lot of competition in that space. And with competition, I mean, you're able to really scale up and help companies that need to reach these customers efficiently. We're not there yet, but I believe that we're on track to being there. But Salpha on its own, apart from, using payment collectors, we also work with distributors. So we have a very fast conversion cycle. And that has helped our business scale very quickly and helped us de-risk our business.
All right, so I'm going to squeeze in 2 questions into one, just because they're all related in a way. First of all, congratulations. We hear that you signed a deal. That Salpha Energy signed a deal.
Say it slowly. It's a big deal, but you have to really take your time on this one.
So it's a $1 million investment deal. Yeah. I mean, a round of applause for that. That's a big deal, so to speak, and they're literally saying, and the deal is for distribution of solar home systems in Nigeria. Tell us more about this deal. And I was going to also add to it that you also got, in addition to that, a $50,000 investment provided by Olon and USADF. Tell us about these and specifically what this would do for Salpha.
Okay, let me give a bit of background as to how I met Olon. Before Olon, we were working, doing the business, and for us at that time as founders, we never really believed in the fact that you could raise this money in Nigeria. In my mind, I always thought it was me against the world, and I just focused on what I was doing. And so it was a big surprise when the company got the first level of investment from Olon and USADF. And that really helped to enable us go into a different payment model, pay as you go. And what we did was that we focused on the most vulnerable parts of Nigeria, the Niger Delta, Akwa Ibom states, and our goal was to deploy 2,000 solar home system solutions. We're looking at homes and businesses, homes that are in rural and peri-urban areas. And the goal was to show them that solar works and we can upscale them to larger productive use appliances. And we're able to gather a lot of buyer insights and demographic insights. We know customers, what they want on pricing, what they want on affordability, what they want in terms of the energy that they use. And this really helped us to scale very quickly. And the project should have lasted for a year and 6 months, and we finished and dusted it off in 9 months.
Wow.
So we're very proud of the team that did that. We just wanted to show that we are here to serve. We are a company that is, fired up and blazing. And so going off the Acquire Bomb USADF All On Challenge, we were again fortunate to have this investment coming in from All On, $1 million, life-changing money that would go into reaching the furthest behind. And so the goal for this funding is that with Salpha as a business, the biggest challenge that we had was scale-up capital, working capital, because we already designed the products, but the issue was that it gained a lot of traction and they were selling out very quickly. And so it was nice, but it was a conundrum because we couldn't scale up. We couldn't go deeper with our existing distributors, and we couldn't get new distributors because it's always like, this is your product, so they finish, and then you have all these naughty distributors who would buy in bulk and even pay ahead of time, and so it was very tricky. And so it's All On coming in. I mean, it's that pent up demand that we've had, and it's pushing in this money into it, and now we're ready to go. We're ready to roll out these solutions, and we're really focusing as part of Salpha's mission on the furthest behind in energy access, areas like Niger Delta. Those areas that stand the most to gain and the most to lose from energy access. We want to reach them first. We want them to be in that journey. And so apart from that, we also want to grow our workforce, a diverse, inclusive workforce. Salpha is about building alphas on the move who are willing to impact and tell the story of energy transition. And we also want to grow our distributor base, bring in new players, especially women. We have a lot of women, about 75 women in our workforce, indirectly and directly. We want to scale that up. And bring in more products and other exciting stuff that I'll share in time.
Awesome.
So that's what
one of the reasons we do this show, one of the reasons why All On sponsors this show is to raise awareness. Right. So we talked about your active distributor numbers. If I get these numbers wrong, I'm reading them off. Tell me. You have about 350. Is that correct? People, cooperatives, and traders nationwide. So how would you describe the awareness of the industry today compared to when you started?
So I have to say there has already been awareness for solar even before I started. However, the issue was that solar was bogged down by products that were not good quality. And a lot of people wanted to make a profit, and that was the challenge I had with this distributors initially, because they were focused on, is it cheap? Does it work for 6 months? And then they buy it. But then there was a lot of awareness that had to go into telling them that the products had to be quality conscious. But quite frankly speaking, when I started, then you had maybe 1 in 10 trade outlets stocking solar in the rural in the urban areas, and then if you go down to rural areas, probably 1 in 20, and it's torch lights that have solar panels on them. But now the awareness is growing. Players in the space, people like All On, REA, the World Bank are really pushing this narrative that solar is here to stay, and we've seen a lot of traction.
Interesting to know. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Power Solutions, brought to you by Nigeria Info in partnership with All On Energy Investment Company. And of course, I'm co-hosting this episode with Adaobi Oniwinde. She is the Policy and Partnerships Manager of All On. My name is Collins Teke. We have an amazing guest. You've been listening to her beautiful voice, talking about Sandra Chukwudozie, founder and CEO of Salpha Energy, talking to us. And before we wrap this all up, we have a number of questions for you. So for the solutions you provide, right, how affordable is it? And many still complain about the fact that, affordability is like a barrier, to having access to some of these amazing innovations in solar. So do you agree with that? And tell us about the affordability of your product too.
Okay, so going back to the last question, it's about, where is solar now versus when you started? And right now, we've seen a lot of business models that have focused on making solar affordable. You have pay-as-you-go, you have power as a service. And what they're trying to do is to break down the initial upfront cost of solar and make it affordable. The truth is that solar is affordable as an energy source, because if you look at when the payments stop when you purchase a full solar system versus the recurring payments of diesel, you can see the cost savings. Now with what we do, our products are focused on the furthest behind, and so we're price conscious, because the Nigerian customers are price conscious and very aspirational. They want to have the best for the cheapest quality. So how do you match that? And so, for example, our entry-level systems, they range from 20 to 30,000 naira, and one of the lowest in the market. And that is actually what has helped us grow quickly with our end users and also our distributors, because no one wants to tie down capital with expensive products. They want a fast-selling products, and so we've been able to match that, and also bringing in the pay-as-you-go elements, further breaking that cost down, has made us, blitz scale. And that was what we saw in Akwa Ibom states, customers coming in to buy these products because of how affordable they were. And so that's what we're trying to do in that area.
SDG goal 7.
Hey, my goal.
Your goal.
I rep it.
Let's share, what is that, and how do you see Nigeria attaining that goal?
Sustainable Development Goal 7, my goal, to ensure affordable access to clean, modern energy. That goal was part of the SDGs Agenda 2030, which was launched in 2015. Watershed at the UN, people were excited about it. So where we were then in terms of energy access was that we had about 1 billion people who didn't have access to electricity. In 2020, fortunately, we're about 789 million people. There's still a big gap because, very critically, the time frame for the SDG goals to elapse is 2030. And so we are about 8 years there. There's progress to be made at this point in time, but very importantly, the progress has to be made with partnerships at a global level. So we've seen, for example, the World Bank step in, in Africa, scaling solar. And the agenda for that was pretty much to de-risk solar, to bring in a lot of private sector players into solar. So, for example, in Nigeria, you have results-based financing where you deploy a solar solution and you're given a grant for that. And so we've seen a lot of deployments happen. I think in the last 2 years, over 200,000 solutions, which would impact over 1 million people, have been deployed across REA. And with the world, and with all on itself, its portfolio of companies, mini-grid, solar home system, power to service, cold storage, you can see an influx of companies coming in, and it's important because the finance needs to be there to unlock the indigenous thinking, because we want people with indigenous thinking who can crack this energy problems. I always say that African problems should be solved by African companies. So we aren't there yet, but there is hope. And the fact is just that climate change is real, and we really need to scale up all our efforts. COP26 happened a few weeks back, and global leaders are saying that they need to have a shift. 1.5 degrees Celsius is very important for the world.
Absolutely.
So we're moving.
I'm conscious of time, and I know you are, but before we go, we need to know how to reach you, how to get your products.
Perfect.
How do we reach you? So
you can reach me on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. So Instagram, Facebook is Salpha Energy, SALPHA Energy. And you reach us there. And the phone number is 0817-777-6052.
You could take that again.
Okay, so phone number is 0817-777-6052. And it's Salpha Energy, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Thank you very much for speaking with us. And that's where we conclude this episode of Power Solutions.
Ready? Are you sure?
Yes, all the time is fast spent. In case you're still wondering why we spend so much time trying to push renewable energy as a solution, just to remind you that about 1/3 of the world's population is still using dangerous and inefficient cooking systems. Do not also forget that there are about 759 million people who do not have access to electricity. In Nigeria, it's over 100 million people. And that means that there's a lot of work to be done. So if if what we have is not feeding us, then we need to innovate. And that's why key players like the amazing Sandra here are important, and the key companies like All On are important, and key media houses like Nigeria Info are important in this. You have a role to play, and you can play yours from wherever you are. That's it for the show today.
On that note,
Yep.
nothing
We
more
have
to
to run
add.
away.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sandra, it was
Thank you
lovely
for
having you.
having me.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Well, next week we'll be here again for another episode of the show. God bless you, and God bless Nigeria. Bye for now.